Good morning.
Good morning.
It is a beautiful day. It's great to be here. It's great to see a couple of our regulars back. We've missed you. I want to welcome the visitors. This morning we're reading from the book of John, the 3rd chapter, starting with the 25th verse. You know how on Facebook, you can get on Facebook and a memory pops up and says, 5 years ago you shared this on Facebook. And I had that kind of pop into my head today, but evidently 5 years ago I gave a message here because I was thinking tomorrow is Julie and my wedding anniversary. We'll be married 44 years tomorrow. She didn't fall for it this time.
You said happy year
Oh, 44 happy years, and the last time I said we've been going to be celebrating 39 wonderful years of marriage, and she said 40, and I said 1 year was like this. And I thought of that this morning, and I thought, I wonder if I could pull that, and I thought, no, she won't fall for it this time. So. But it's good to be back. It's good to see people in the church. I tell you, I love Jody and Julie, but preaching to them, just the two of them sitting here was tough. And the day that the message messed up, or the thing, and I went home and did it at home, that was tough. And then right in the middle, I'm getting to the point that I want to make, and my dog runs through between Julie and the camera, and he starts drinking water. You can hear that lap. I thought, this is going to be horrible. Evidently, it worked, and I'm glad that we're all back here and where we belong. So, book of John, 3rd chapter, starting with the 25th verse. Then there arose a question between some of John's disciples and the Jews about purifying. And they came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi, he that was with thee beyond Jordan, to whom thou bearest witness, behold, the same baptizes, and all men come to him. John answered and said, a man cannot receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. Ye yourselves bear me witness that I said, I am not the Christ, but that I am sent before him. He that hath the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth him, rejoices greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease. Let's bow in a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you today. We thank you for the word that you've given us. We ask that you be with me and lead and guide direct me in this message. I ask that you be with us and heal the world of this pandemic and ease the tension between all the human race, make us all one again. We ask that you be with the ones on our prayer list, that you lay your healing hand upon them or the comforting hand, whichever the need might be. We ask that you be with the ones that couldn't be here, that you watch over and protect them and bring them back this way. We ask, Lord, that you be with our soldiers, our police officers, our people that are essential workers that are helping us through this time that we're struggling through. We ask, Lord, that you continue to bless us, and we thank you for all the blessings you bestowed upon us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Bob, I'm going to make you and Lloyd happy today.
Make me happy every day.
Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about a football player. One of the greatest running backs in history who unfortunately suffered several knee injuries and ended a great career way too early. But he happened to play for a team, I don't want to call them the Chicago Bears. I guess he got a team in Chicago. Just teasing. But Gale Sayers, he was, and When I was in high school, I read a book, his autobiography. It was a very good book. The name of the book is I Am Third. And I thought that was a strange name for a book about Gil Sayers, but when you get into the book, Gil talks about growing up and being a football player in Kansas and some of the racial stuff that he had to go through at that time, which is about early 60s when Gil played. And so this is what we're going through is nothing new. But he had one spot that has stuck with me through the years. And he went into his track coach's office when he was in college, and on the desk was a plaque. He said it was just like a nameplate. And on it, it says, I am third. And Gil looked at him and says, what does I am third mean? And the track coach says, well, I'm glad you noticed that. And I'm glad to share with you what it means. He says, that keeps me on the right path. He says, God is first. My family is second. I am third. He says, you follow that, and he says, you'll be doing the right thing. And Gil liked that. So he said he tried to follow that after he used that as his thing to keep himself straight and go on the right path. And so he named his book, I Am Third. And it's an interesting book. I would recommend reading it. The one chapter that I really enjoyed was the one about Brian Piccolo and him rooming together. They were the first white and black man to room together because the Bears decided we're going to room by positions and not let you just room with somebody you like. Which sounds horrible, but they wanted to try it. So this Brian Piccolo was a character. He just, after he died of cancer at a young age, and he told his Gil one time he was going to have a baby, and he said he was hoping it was a boy, and if it was a boy, he was going to name him Spade Piccolo. And Gil loved it. So people can get along. But we want to talk about I Am Third. Today, there's several of us, I touched on this last week. A lot of us in this world today are living in me. I'm number one. I want what I want. I don't care what you want as long as I get what I want. We're not following that I am third. We need to do that, because if we're not following I am third, we're not doing what God wants us to do. And just as an example, if I got up here and said, I'm going to give you a great message today, and it's going to be one of the best messages you ever heard, I might as well turn around and sit down, because it's not going to be the best message you ever heard, because he's not going to be with me, because I said I was going to do it. We got to let God lead us in the direction that he wants us to go. There's times that we decide we're going to do this. I don't care. This is where I want to go. And have you ever noticed when you've decided that, you get this little, what I want to say, you're on the wrong path. Get over it. We touched on this last night. Rich and I were talking. Sometimes you get that little, get back over there where you belong. We need that. David had a moment like that. He was going to build a big, marvelous temple. It was going to be beautiful. He was going to build it. He wanted it for God. He was doing it for God. He had the right reason. He was doing it for God. But he was going to build it. God says, no, you're not going to build it. Solomon's going to build it. You're a man of war. I want a man of love to build my temple. David stepped back. David let God lead. And he got a beautiful temple from Solomon that Solomon built for him. And our verses today, I'm going to try to put this in my talk that I understand not the way they just read it, but John's followers, this is John the Baptist that they were following, they're upset because Jesus has been baptized and he's preaching now and he's baptizing and people are going to him and they're not coming to John the Baptist. And they're upset. They're wanting John to still have his followers. And John's mission was to spread the coming of the Messiah. John had did his job. And as you see here, John says, I'm like the bride at a wedding, I'm the best man. He is the groom. His joy fills me with joy, and then I have to step back and let him do his thing. When we step back and let God do his thing, great things can happen. We'll be filled with joy. We get to experience what he had planned for us when we follow his path and do what he says for us to do. So this morning, I want you to think to yourself, is God first? And am I third? Or am I trying to be number one when I should be? As we stand and sing our closing hymn, page 593. before we dismiss. Ronnie, would you dismiss us, please?
Gracious Lord and Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for the opportunity and privilege to be back in your house to worship you today. Give us a one-point prayer list we might accomplish that. help us to go out from here and